Hello everyone, good morning. I welcome you to my channel CloudOps DevOps. In this channel, I will be explaining the various concepts of cloud operations and DevOps, both for beginners as well as experts. I will be explaining the very fundamental concepts and also be delving into the advanced concepts at a very ground up approach so it becomes easy for those IT professionals to understand who are not from cloud background. The mission behind creating this channel is to upskill IT professionals who are not from cloud background to become cloud engineers and DevOps engineers. As you know that IT infrastructures are moving from on-premises to cloud, and therefore the job market is also changing. The traditional network operations center team, which used to take care of on-premises network, on-premises infrastructure, are now getting replaced by cloud engineers or rather cloud operations team. So it is very important to upskill ourselves to become cloud engineers or to gain some knowledge about cloud operations and DevOps so that we can stay relevant in the market. So with this, first of all, I will start with my introduction. My name is Kanchan Kumar Das. I have 7+ years of IT experience. I have worked in two reputed organizations till date, including a big four company. I have been a part of the technical recruitment team. I have also provided cloud training to external training institutes. I have worked on Azure services, Azure networking, Azure infrastructure, Azure DevOps, Kubernetes, Docker, Git, Terraform, Azure Resource Manager, Bicep, etc. I have completed DevOps engineering certifications from Microsoft, Azure Solutions Architect Expert Certification, Azure Network Engineer Expert Associate Certification, Azure Administrator Associate Certification. I have also completed DevOps engineering certification from Edureka and Kubernetes Administrator certification from Edureka. So this is a short introduction about me. So with this, let us start with our content. So the first thing to understand is what is CloudOps. So CloudOps stands for Cloud Operations. Now CloudOps is responsible for provisioning cloud infrastructure and services for developer teams for building their cloud native applications. What does that mean? So cloud operations team work closely with the developer team. The developer team means the application developer team who want to develop cloud native applications. Cloud native applications means that the entire application is built with the help of cloud services. Cloud native application is different from lift and shift based applications. So lift and shift based application means those applications which used to be hosted in on-premises cloud and now they have been migrated to virtual machines and they are just hosted in virtual machine. That is not cloud native. Cloud native means those applications which are built using the cloud services, for example Logic App, Azure Functions, Event Grid, Event Hub, Key Vault, then storage account. So when the entire application is built with the help of pure Azure services, that is called a cloud native application. Now what is the work of cloud ops in that case? Cloud ops team is responsible for provisioning the cloud infrastructure, for example provisioning a VM, provisioning a key vault, provisioning a storage account, provisioning the event grid, provisioning the service bus. So all the services which will be used by the developer team to develop their cloud native application will be provisioned by the cloud ops team. CloudOps team will not actually help in developing the application, they will just provision it. CloudOps establishes and codifies procedures and best practices for provisioning and maintaining cloud infrastructure and services. Yes. So in a particular organization, the CloudOps team is responsible for codifying. Codifying means writing in the form of code, the procedures and best practices. So if tomorrow the developer team gains or requests higher privileges in the cloud portal for so that they can provision their infrastructure on their own without reaching out to the cloud ops team, at that time they need to follow certain procedures, certain best practices so as to ensure the security of their infrastructure. For example, they might provision a storage account with public access, but that is very dangerous because if storage account has public access then it will be affected by the cyber thieves by the attackers. So in that case there has to be some best practices in place in the form of code or in the form of Azure policy which will prevent them from provisioning such type of dangerous services. So they will have to provision storage account or any other Azure services with proper security in place. So that best practice, that security is established by the CloudOps team in the form of code. So code in the form of code means in the form of any Terraform template, in the form of Azure policy or Azure initiatives. They continuously ensure high level security of the cloud inference services using various monitoring tools. Yes, so CloudOps team continuously monitor the various Azure services, for example VMs, for example storage account, key vaults, function apps, event grid, service bus under a particular subscriptions with the help of various monitoring tools, for example Nagios, Prometheus, Grafana, with the help of Microsoft Defender, with the help of Azure Sentinel. So they continuously keep on viewing the score, that is called security score, and they ensure that the security of the services which are used by the developer teams are 100% secure. So that activity is done by CloudOps team. Now let's see what are the benefits of cloud operations, or what is the benefit of deploying a CloudOps team in a particular organization. The first thing is accelerated automation. Yes, so as you know that uh, cloud services, for example virtual machines, even grid service bus, vnet, subnet, storage account, all these services can be provisioned with the help of Azure portal by ClickOps. However, that is never the ideal method of provisioning cloud services. The reason is, if any particular service which is being used for a long period of time and which has lot of RBAC, which has lot of VNet integrations, which has lot of private endpoints integrated with it, gets deleted due to any sort of mistake, it becomes very expensive to bring it back. So it is always recommended not to use ClickOps to provision Azure services. It is always recommended to use infrastructure as a code for provisioning services, so that if any of these services gets deleted, they can be again brought back by deploying the infrastructure as a code with the same settings, same RBACs and everything, every setting in place. So CloudOps team automates the provisioning of services. So rather than provisioning the services with the help of ClickOps, CloudOps team develops Terraform scripts or Azure Resource Manager scripts or Bicep scripts for deploying the services and infrastructure. So that every time so people will not have to click and deploy the services, they just need to deploy the script and the services will come up. This particular process of automation expedites the process of deploying resources at a large scale. They also automate monitoring and reporting and security event remediation. As I said, the CloudOps team makes use of Microsoft Defender, Azure Sentinel, Prometheus Grafana, Nagios, Azure Monitor for monitoring the various Azure services, and they make use of Azure Sentinel for security event remediation. Enhance security. So CloudOps enhances security of application by leveraging the security features of the cloud services. Yes. So on-premises VM are much less secure than Azure VMs, or on-premises databases are much less secure than a storage account or Azure SQL database. It is because Azure services or cloud services have their inbuilt security, which is provided by the cloud provider. So CloudOps team helps to leverage those security features to secure the cloud services more and more. For example, storage account can be prevented from public access with the help of very simple settings. Much more layer of security can be imposed on them by doing VNet integration, and again much more layer of security can be integrated by doing private endpoint integration. So these inbuilt security features are already there in the cloud services, and CloudOps team help to leverage them. Disaster recovery. Disaster recovery is the process of bringing back the application and the data when a particular region where a data center is located gets totally crashed due to any sort of disaster, for example flood, for example earthquake. So in that case we can bring back the application and its data from a secondary region, or we can keep on accessing the application from the secondary region unless our primary region, which has been impacted by disaster, is back again. So CloudOps team helps the developer team, helps organization to plan. So CloudOps team help organization to plan the disaster recovery. CloudOps also reduces the RTO and RPO of data lost in a disaster. So RTO means recovery time object and RPO means recovery point object. So I will be delivering a separate session on disaster recovery. So as of now, it is sufficient for us to understand that when a particular primary region where an application is hosted gets totally damaged due to disaster, then the application data from the secondary region can be used for a temporary period of time for running the business. So CloudOps team helps organization to set up their application and data in two different regions, primary region and secondary region. Overall IT savings, yes. So as we know that as we move from on-premises infrastructure to cloud infrastructure, we can actually reduce cost to a certain level, and that is because of the pay-as-you-go pricing model of cloud infrastructure. So pay-as-you-go pricing model means you need to pay only for that much as you use. For example, if you have an app service plan, so app service plan is used for hosting of web apps. So we can actually host as many web apps as we need based on the capability of the app service plan. And we need to pay only for one app service plan. So we can host multiple web apps on a particular app service plan, on a single app service plan, and we just need to pay for that particular app service plan. Also there are some cloud resources, for example a VM. We need to pay for the VM as long as it is up. When that VM is not needed, we can actually shut it down and we do not need to pay for it. So that is for the pay as you go pricing model. Whereas for on-premises infrastructure, we have to keep on paying as long as it is under our control. So that is, so CloudOps team also helps in overall IT savings. So that is all from for this particular session. I will be continuing with much more fundamental concepts about CloudOps and DevOps in the upcoming session. Hope I could clear some concepts of cloud operations for you. If you have any questions, please write it down in the comment section and I will try to answer. Till then, have a nice day. Bye.